It's not the Evan Neal. It's not the Lindenbaum where he's extremely athletic, but this guy just simply gets the job done.
Let's talk about Texas A&M offensive guard Kenyon Green. This is a player who has spent some time at tackle. We project him inside at guard. I think you'd be surprised to find anybody that does project him outside at tackle, but he's another one of those players who was charged with filling a role that might not have been best for his individual skill set, but was what was best and necessary for the team that he played for. So as you review your own thought process and your film studies of Kenyon Green, where do you come in as far as positional versatility for a player who maybe played out of position this past year?
I personally had a great appreciation for it. This guy played left tackle, left guard, right tackle. So imagine trying to find him on film every game, right? I'm like, where's this guy playing? And to me, it seemed to be a team player because I tried to match it up with injuries, right? And you notice, okay, their right tackle out, guess who they kicked over? Kenyon Green. Left tackle is out, guess who we kicking over? Kenyon Green. And to that point, I believe his best game last year was against Will Anderson, who we could all say to be a consensus top 5 pick depending on what quarterbacks emerge. But that's playing what some would say is the most difficult position to play, the left tackle position against some elite talent. So I grew a great appreciation for this guy. I think where he falls just for most people is that it's not pretty, right? His approach and just his build, it's not the Trevor Penning where he's 6'7" running a 4.8. It's not the Evan Neal. It's not the Lindenbaum where he's extremely athletic. But this guy just simply gets the job done, and that's what I appreciate about him. Like, he's a second-level guy. He's a road grader. He's a mauler. And you talk about that versatility, I think a lot of offensive coordinators would appreciate that because, let's face it, injuries happen, especially against the offensive line. How many times have we seen teams' offenses derailed because they've had an injury along the offensive line? Now you draft a guy that he can easily plug in either one of those 4 positions, and hopefully your offense can continue to go. So for me personally, I think I have Kenyon Green as a top 10 guy because of that positional value and versatility as a player.
6'0", 323, 34 1/8, ran 5.24 verified at the NFL Combine.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Keith, you summed it up pretty good. I mean, this is a versatile player. He's a very strong player at the point of attack. Kyle, you talk about the 34-inch arms. He has the length that you really appreciate, especially at guard, right? I mean, his ability to get his hands on you early in the down, continue to kind of maintain that contact through the down. It's phenomenal. I think his ability as a run blocker, to me, is really, really impressive. He gets good movement initially, sustains blocks really, really well. Just overall, really instinctual player in the run game, and then at pass protection, outstanding. You know, he has the punch. He's able to move laterally. I think, you know, for him to anchor against bull rush, I think is really impressive. And so to me, he's that kind of guard where you can insert and you feel really, really good about him in both phases. And then just the overall toughness and competitiveness that he plays with. He looks to punish people late in the down. Like, there ain't no, you know, hey, the block's over, like, good job, you know. Like, no, he's looking to drill you and really power you into the ground. And so I love him from a skill set perspective. I love him from an athletic traits perspective. But more importantly, from a toughness perspective, that's where, to me, separates himself.
Kind of reminds me of Elton Jenkins as far as an offensive lineman who – this past year in Green Bay, played left tackle because David Bakhtiari was out, right? And, like, he was fine. And he was another one of those players who we're seeing from a predictive standpoint. Kenyon Green's name is sliding back a little bit in mock drafts, and some of the more athletic offensive linemen you're starting to see projected out in front of him. But this is a boringly good football player in the best possible way, right? And he's doing it at offensive tackle, and we don't even think that's going to be his best position at the pro level. So I think the floor here is super high. You're getting an above-average starter at worst for probably 2 contracts, barring a coaching change that would facilitate scheme changes. I do think he is more primarily a gap power type of blocker in the run game as compared to asking him to go out and be involved in wide zone where you got to really flow laterally with the front and you know, be able to stay attached to a defensive lineman and manipulate them with your hands. Let this guy dictate terms. Don't ask him to passively steer, right? Because if you let him dictate terms, you're going to be really happy with the end results of what you get in the run game. But Kenyon Green might not be the most buzzy player right now, but he's somebody who carries a very lofty grade from us here at TDN because we see the vision for him as a long-time starter in the NFL.